If you've ever tasted raisins bread before, you will know it's one of the most delicious bread recipe that you can ever make. Welcome back to my channel. Now, here is my milk, 1 cup of milk and 1 egg. If you do not have the semi-skim milk, just go for warm water and add 2 tablespoons of powdered milk to your flour. So that is it. Now, I mixed 1 cup of warm milk to 1 medium-sized egg. This is my flour, 3 cups of flour. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of your instant yeast. You can either use your instant yeast or your active dry yeast. If you're using your instant yeast, just like as I did, add it directly to your flour. If you're using your active dry yeast, you will need to proof in warm water before adding it to your flour. I'm going on now to add in my milk and egg mix, and I'm adding it gradually because I do not want too much of it. But I found out that the quantity I used was just enough for the 3 cups of flour. In fact, I had to go on now to add like 1 or 2 tablespoons of more warm water to get my dough together. This recipe is so easy because you do not have to knead. So if you don't like kneading or you don't have a mixer, you are good to go. I added in 60 grams of butter, which I'm just going to mix into my flour for like 2 to 3 minutes. Cover and allow it to brew for 45 minutes to 1 hour. If this is your first time of stopping by my channel, you're so welcome. And if you've been here before, good to have you here once again. And if you have subscribed, thank you for your subscription. And if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Do subscribe, do like and share. Now, here is my raisins. I just had to soak it in warm water for like 15 to 20 minutes and set aside. After 20 minutes, I'm going to go on now to strain and just allow it to strain properly before going on now to the main process. These are the pan I'm using. I'm using 2 pans. I'm going to show you how I'm going to be greasing this pan here. If you do not want to have the struggle of getting your bread out of your pan, this is the best method. You can either brush with butter, but I noticed that using vegetable oil and sprinkling a little bit of flour in your pan just makes it easy for you. You won't stress yourself. Even if your pan is non-stick, I just want to be on the safe side. So that, my dear, I will brush with vegetable oil and sprinkle a little bit of flour. You wouldn't want to bake a bread that will get stuck to your pan. This is after proofing. This is about 45 minutes to close to 1 hour. Make sure you place your dough in a warm environment when proofing. What I did, I heat up my oven for like 5 minutes, turn it off, place my dough in there. It helps it to proof faster, especially if you are in a cold environment. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour, take it out of my bowl and deflate. Now, when you're taking your dough out of your bowl, you notice that it's going to be filled with air. So you have to just go on now to get it together to make sure you deflate as much as possible. Have you watched to this point and you haven't thumbs up this video? Do thumbs up this video, do like and share. Do comment. Are you going to be trying out this recipe? If you haven't subscribed, come on, subscribe to Debbie's Kitchen. Thank you so much for your subscription. Thank you for your love and support. I really do appreciate those of you that have subscribed. We do not take it for granted. I will try our best to give you the best recipes on this channel. Those of you contemplating subscribing, I don't know what will convince you, but I hope this recipe does convince you to subscribe. I divided my dough into 2 portions because I told you I'm using 2 pans, and this one is kind of smaller than the other one. And just watch carefully at this point. You're going to be finding out how I got my raisins into my dough neatly without stress. So I'm going to roll a portion of my dough till flat. After rolling it flat, I'm going to go on now to add my raisins. Now, when you're adding your raisins, you don't want to add too much of your raisins. It depends on you. I just use half cup of raisins for the whole recipe. You can decide to go for a cup, but I felt half cup of raisins was okay for 3 cups of flour. If you want to go for a cup of raisins and you know you really love loads of raisins in your bread, then you just do you. Now you can see what I did. After placing it into my dough, I had to cover and further roll my dough alongside with the raisins. This is to get it into my dough without stress. I'm going to go further now to fold in my dough and pinch the edges. You can see the raisins are embedded in the dough. They are not sticking out. This is very important. So I have 3 of this size, which I'm going to be placing in my smaller pan and set aside to proof. We're going to go on now to roll the other portion of the dough and get them into the big pan. And we are just going to go through the process again using the same method, but this time we are adding in more raisins because we are dealing with a larger or a bigger dough. I just went on to deflate my dough a bit, sprinkle a little bit of flour. Do not sprinkle too much flour, just because I don't want my dough to stick. My dough is a bit soft and I just feel that sprinkling a bit of flour will help that. Now I just added all the remaining raisins back into the dough. I'm going to go on how to fold in the raisins like so, and go on how to roll on my dough and get my raisins embedded in my dough. Come on, if you have watched to this point, I want you to comment. Thank you so much for watching till this point, and I want you to comment, tell me what you think about this recipe. So you can see there is no kneading, there is no stress. We are just going on now to just roll, and after rolling till I found out that the raisins are well embedded and everywhere is sealed, we're going to go further now to fold our dough. And just like as we did to the smaller size dough, we're going to pinch in the edges properly to make sure that it doesn't loosen while baking. And there you go, you place it in your pan. At this stage, you want to cover and allow it to proof for about 30 to 30 minutes to 1 hour, depending on the environment you are in. If you're in a warmer environment, your proofing will be faster. I'm brushing with my egg wash, and I'm going to cover with my film and keep in a warm environment for 30 minutes to 1 hour. Make sure you watch your bread closely. You wouldn't want it to overproof. Now, this is after proofing. You can see it hasn't filled up the pan. You wouldn't want your bread to fill up the pan. No, once it is close to filling up the pan, you take it out and get ready to bake. Before you even check your bread, make sure your oven is well heated, except you're using your oven for proofing. If not, you should make sure you heat up your oven for like 5 to 10 minutes. We are baking at 180 degrees Celsius to 200 degrees Celsius. You can use it either of those range. Just bake within that range for 15 to 20 minutes. Bread does not take time to bake. Yes, it doesn't. Watch your bread closely. Yours can take 20 minutes, 30 minutes so that it does not get burnt. This is the one I'm baking in the pot. I've sprinkled a little bit of flour, placed something to leave, and placed my bread. I'm going to allow that bake for like 45 minutes to 1 hour. Baking in your pot takes longer than baking in an oven, so just take note of that. Now, this is the one I baked in the oven. After about 20 to 25 minutes, yes, it was ready, and I was so surprised. It came out looking so big. It baked faster than I thought. Thank God I checked it closely. It would have gotten burnt, and I loved how it browned evenly. You can see it got out of my pan easily. Once your bread bakes, make sure you allow 5 to 10 minutes to cool off before taking it out of the pan. That is one way to get your bread easily out of your pan. Now let's course into this bread, guys. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say at this point, because it came out looking so good. Who would have thought that we did not need? Now, if you have a mixer, you're telling me, what if I want to make this recipe with my mixer? The same thing, just get your bowl and put all your ingredients together and knead. Make sure you knead, and your butter, add your butter last and knead for like 5 to 10 minutes. You will get a perfect bread of raisins bread at the end of the day. So this is the one. This is like after 45 minutes to 1 hour. You can see it doesn't look so brown like the one I baked in the oven, but it's fine. It's okay. It's not smooth at the top, both of them, because of course we didn't knead. The kneading has a way of smoothing your dough and give it a well finished look. But who cares? The bread is good, it's soft, it's fluffy, and my dear, you don't need to stress yourself to need to make a yummy bread recipe like this one you just saw in this video. So you can try it and tell me in the comment section what you think about this recipe. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Do like, share, and subscribe. See you in my next one. God bless you.